in thinking about what contribution the private sector might make on sustainable livelihoods, what particularly interests me is what would happen if the creativity of the people who define markets were applied to the idea of creating them at the bottom of the pyramid. I just think that's the opportunity of the future. It's what the 21st century will be about. We can't have a steadily more and more divided world. And it's one thing for the leader of an NGO to speculate on what might be possible and what would benefit the earth. It's another thing for creative business people to begin to develop concrete ideas and experiment with them and report their results. The question of how companies can quantify both the bottom line benefits and the benefits to society, I think is a key to this whole area. And it's one now that is some of the most interesting work we're doing. We're particularly intrigued by the idea that companies can go beyond finding markets in developing countries to creating markets at the bottom of the pyramid with the poorest of the poor. And that they can do that not by identifying existing demand, but by identifying problems and helping to solve those problems, and thereby creating a market. And there's some wonderful illustrations out there. One of the ones that people point to is Hindustani Lever, which had a piece of the market among middle-class and upper-class Indians for personal care products and soap. And they had the idea of trying to sell to the poor in India who couldn't possibly buy a full bottle of lotion or of soap. And they solved that problem by packaging the soap in individual use packets, and found that when they made this product available in a size small enough that people could afford to buy it, there was a huge demand. They created a new market, an enormously profitable one for themselves. Well, that's actually quite important because sanitation is a major issue, and if people have access to soap, they can significantly reduce the incidence of disease. So they created the market by solving a problem with a social benefit. That's broadly possible, but it requires stepping outside conventional business models. You can't say, where can we find people who can buy our existing products? You have to say, what intellectual property, what skills do we have that would enable us to break through and solve a problem, and how can we do it at a price that's completely outside our normal concept of pricing structures?